Johnny Fontana, Half Amazing TV, back with another video. First of all, I want to say fair health to those who have been severely impacted by this COVID-19 virus. I hope that you are taking the proper measures and precautions and also helping out your fellow mates who have been affected or may be affected in the future. So please take heed, keep well in health, right? Stay indoors, stay inside. And this is an opportunity for us to get back to the groove, right? Get back to the culture of music, of what we call DJing. And I have a video that I made before, previously recorded, but I want to share that with you. So listen, we have all the time in the world, especially for those of you who unfortunately have been impacted by the protective measures and you are currently unemployed or at home. And again, this is an opportunity for you to dig, get yourself back into the music, get yourself back into understanding the culture, where we are, what this game is all about, right? So take this opportunity. It's a previously recorded video, and stay tuned for more. Johnny Fontana, let's go. Johnny Fontana, Half Amazing TV, back with another video. Today is probably going to be one of the most amazing What Is House tutorials. So much that we're going back to the original intro. Let's go.
We're just some men that's on the mic, and when we rock up on the mic, we rock the mic.
Johnny Fontana, we are back. All right, so today it's going to be all about funk, right? Funk, disco, that big room funk sound. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and understand what funk is, because I know a lot of folks, especially cats who I've been talking to, they don't really understand what funk is, right? So let's go ahead and just get an idea of what funk is. Clip one, go.
The word funk in itself, James Brown used to describe the feeling of the people when they played this music that he created, how they would dance so hard and they groove so much. And when you really groove to music, you sweat, you perspirate a lot under your arms, all over, and you get really stinky. In a closed little club, even a big club, it gets sweaty and you can smell it. And they call that funk. They say, you're kind of funky, you smell funky. The word funk is basically like saying when something is sweaty and perspiration and stink. And James Brown, you can hear in his music, he says, it's getting kind of funky in here, meaning that everybody's sweating and getting down. And that's why they say that he created the word funk.
All right, cool. So now that we have an idea of what funk is, right, we're going to go ahead and play you off of my my folders, my funk folders, right? And it's about 7 folders that I have. It's small room funk, big room, disco funk, twisted, filtered, big fast, right? Classic big room, and after hours, right? Which is more of like a funk but techie sound, right? So we'll go ahead and go over those folders and what they qualify as we go. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with the small room, right? So right now this is small room, right? I'm starting with like a classic track for a couple tracks. I'm gonna go classic, right? Because I feel that the music right now, while you have some of the classic stuff, but it doesn't have like a wide appeal. And we're gonna talk about it, right? We're gonna talk about the culture, we're gonna talk about the scene, and we're gonna talk about like some of the stuff that's happening. Listen to this groove. You know what I'm saying? This came out, I think, like in 2006, 2007. This is like, what, 12 years ago. So I was watching a video by Mark Knight, and I'm telling you, like, he's so underrated in terms of like house and how house should be played. And I realized that, dude, like, you know, like I've been sleeping on him, you know, especially now, the fact that I'm not really in tune to a lot of the DJs who are playing house, especially online, right? And when I listened to him, I was like, dude, like, man, you know, this is that funk, man. This is that groove, bro. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and start small, slow, and then we're gonna progress, right, as the night goes on. So this is more of like a small room where you just starting things, getting people grooved in, right? And a lot of times people come in, man, and they start with like that single bat, boom, bap, and there's no groove, there's nothing. It doesn't entice people to come to the dance floor. You see what I'm saying to you? Like, this stuff was like always part of like the element when it came to like funk and groove. There was always a time for like twisted, for dark stuff. That was later. But during like the peak hour, man, you wanted to introduce people to the groove, you know what I'm saying? Make them come to the dance floor. And that's what happens right now. People don't really dance because, again, it's been invaded by another culture. It's not a matter of color, but it's like the hipsters, the Brooklynites,
as we gather together in this arena of sound,
those type of folks. They're not part of the original culture, like I keep telling you, but people don't want to believe me. And the thing
we
is,
should embrace the future and see the light that the greed that pays off.
They have their own culture, which is there's nothing wrong with that. They have their own tech stuff, their own, you know, other stuff. But like this stuff, you can't play this everywhere. And that's one of the problems. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to another one. But we'll keep talking about it.
Yeah. So you're in Miami. I know you DJ around there. Miami's like, I feel like I'm really feeling the direction that all the music's going in Miami right now.
Like the local artists and local shit?
Just the fact that like it's very like all the Caribbean sounds and all the African sounds are like put together in one city.
Yep.
And it's one of the few cities where you could do Afro beats for 20 minutes. You could do reggae for like 20. You could do reggaeton.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because there's no white people.
It's true. They're all in Orlando, Fort Lauderdale.
It's like one of my favorite cities when I go there.
Yeah.
It's like you play
a lot of Latin.
You play a lot of Latin. You can play a lot of Caribbean. You can play Afrobeat.
I play like 50% reggaeton every night.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's tight.
To me, reggaeton is like, I've said it before, man. It's like it just has all the melodies that I wish R&B had right now.
So, and I was watching his Mark Knight's video, right? And it's funny because he was like this. A lot of disco, a lot of, you know, big room disco funk, and which is cool. But what surprised me is that someone said, "Oh man, it was a great set, but I wish there was a second hour of more tech stuff." Which is good, which is perfect. Because again, it's like right now for me to go in and do a set, like a whole hour of like disco funk, like big room disco funk like this, you can get away with that. Why? Because people don't dance. If you're like this, banging it with disco funk all night and you have dancers, they can't sustain that level of energy all night. But when you have people just standing like this in this picture, it's easy to get away with. It's a sausage fest, bro. You see what I'm saying to you? And again, it's like, it's so tough to talk about it because it's like you have this group of people like, oh, everyone's the same, everything is the same. And it's like, dude, like not everyone is the same, bro. Not everything is the same. Like, I don't go to techno. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, I don't go to techno and try to like impose myself and put myself in techno. I don't talk about techno because that's not me. You know what I'm saying? This is me right here. That's what I'm saying to you. This is me. And the folks who are into techno don't understand this right here. Just sit on it for a while. Sit on it. You know what I'm saying to you, bro? Like, this stuff is like, and you realize too that a lot of this stuff, like, you can't play everywhere.
We've been having a conversation, and we're talking about how progressive house music is huge here. I mean, is huge in New York. And whereas, you know, they have a deep, funky house soul going on, and it's not, it's harder to fill in those rooms in New York compared to Europe. So why? What do you have going on out here? What you've been seeing with your sound compared to in the States?
In the States, you know, we went maybe we make a small tour like New York, Washington, and LA. And LA, I'm sorry, man, that you're American, but I hate that city. New York is the place. I love that city, but everybody was talking about LA.
But the crowd was better in LA.
I was surprised because, you know, I know it's not the place. That's, you know, you can see that all the main house DJ, they play more in Europe than in America.
Yeah.
You know, people like Eric Morillo, Roger Sanchez, they come from New York, but where they do their money is in Europe. It's not in America, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Roger Sanchez, he spent 85% of his life in Europe. Yeah. Eric Morillo is thinking to move to living in Ibiza, you know?
Yeah. But
he lives there now anyway. You know,
but even the guy like Jeff Mills on the techno scene, I think he's even living in Europe now because his business is here. But the strange thing is, like, most of the young people think that cause house is coming from US and techno, this is big there. This is not, you know. It's really strange. It's really, yeah. It's really underground. I think. I guess in US, you know, when you go there, it's just like R&B, hip hop. This is not bad music, but it's just like really strange to see that these people who's coming from your country is big in our country, you know.
Right.
And the biggest DJ for us is DJs coming from US, where the music is not really big. You know?
You can't play this stuff everywhere because, again, like, for example, I'm in Tampa right now, right? So I go to St. Pete, I go to Ybor, and even to the point of how plugged in I am, because a lot of people don't really think that I'm plugged in. And we're talking about being plugged in. Like, there's this guy named Pedro M. He does Ybor City. He's well known in Tampa. So I was like, dude, like, he had like,
well, all right.
He had a song, a video of him playing at Ybor, and he opens up for all the big DJs who come to Tampa, to Ybor City. And I was like, yo, dude, like, we need like a place where it's more groovy,
I know y'all feeling this groove right about now.
you know, stuff like this, you know what I'm saying? Like, but with an intimate room, not a big room like the Ritz. And he was like, shut up, yo, it's been tried before. I'll even show you the Facebook post right here. You see? And you see where it says, yo, I haven't forgotten about you, because I'm supposed to do an interview with him. You know what I'm saying? I have his phone number. I'm like, yo, I want to get an interview with you. So I'm plugged in, bro. So it's not about me, like, not being able to get a gig or whatever.
Keep this groove rocking, cause we're rocking down the house tonight.
But it's to the point where, like, why am I gonna subject myself to a culture or to something where I'm not gonna be able to celebrate, you know what I'm saying, like, my talents? Like, when you love the game of basketball, when you love the game of football, right? International soccer, you're not gonna go out and halfway it. Like, you want to play to succeed. You want to play for championships. You want to play for prestige, right? You want to go out there and have meaning. I don't want to go out and just I've done it before. I've sacrificed before. I've gone out and just played just to play.
I know y'all feeling this groove right about now.
And the people who be like, yo, like, just play, go out, you know, it doesn't really matter. They're the ones who are not really part of that culture stuff. They're not really part of it. When I say culture, there's a culture that belongs to house because it came from a particular place, bro. You see what I'm saying to you? Like, listen to this groove. Compare it to the stuff that you hear now, like that hip-hop over house beat. And guess what? It has nothing to do with color because all of these folks are white who making this stuff, but they're from Europe, from Spain. So it has nothing to do with that. It's just it's being part of the culture. You know what I'm saying to you?
We're rocking down the house tonight.
It's like I felt like I was trying, like, what am I making? I'm not making beats for myself now. I'm trying to do like
you still doing.
I'm trying to do DJ. I'm trying to make something for the club now, and it just like it didn't mix, and I ended up just not doing it because I would get really frustrated. I started to hate the crowds that I was DJing for.
That sucks.
Yeah,
that's kind of the worst when you resent the crowd.
That's the worst situation any DJ can be in when they're
You're
not
like,
eye to eye with
people.
the crowd. Yeah.
I don't. That's kind of why I prefer not to leave Miami, because I'm always with the crowd every single time.
All right, we're gonna go some more. We're gonna go another classic right here. Classic. Grant Nelson. This is still Small Room. We're chilling, man. Oh yeah, so like, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it hurts me, bro. Like, it hurts. Like, I'm just like you. I'm a DJ. I'm not one of those guys who's like, oh, like, you know, like, I'm the best. I don't need to be DJing. I'm good with just being a bedroom DJ. Nah, bro. Like, the same way you want to be out there. Like, you know, like you like a basketball player dreams of playing the stage, whatever. But the basketball player, like, they know that when they're not compromised. When they get to the NBA, they're not compromised. You know what I'm saying to you? When a football player, American football player, when he gets to the main stage, when he gets to college, when he gets to the NFL, he's not compromised. He knows that's what it is. But for us, for DJs, you know, it's like you get into it, you're like, you want to do it, but then when you come in, you have to compromise your sound. Like, I can play this here or there, but it's very difficult, especially in America, to like really go like a whole night of just like groovy funk. Just listen, bro. And I know folks be like, oh, well, yeah, you can play it down the street in some rinky-dink. That's the thing. Listen to my man, Billy Corgan. Hold on for a moment. Let's move it up a little bit. Listen to that piano, bro. This is musicians, right? This is that funk. When do you hear this, like, really right now? Except for like cats who are playing that tech stuff, who are just like playing that tech, and it doesn't really evolve. It's just the same loop. Classic stuff. So yeah, so when I'm talking to you, like, there's a lot of DJs with this mentality, right? This whole underground thing of like, oh, well, yeah, like, you know, yeah, you could just go play there and then there. Like, bro, like, I've done it. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this picture of me in Japan. I've done that. Like, I've done all that stuff, bro. Like, I'm not to the point where, like, I want to just DJ in some corner now. Like, at what point in time do you progress, right? But play with the stuff that you like, the stuff that's good that we used to have. Not now playing only underground stuff like these like Chus and Ceballos. They're going to the techie and then the more underground stuff, and they're not playing the stuff that they used to play before, you know? So listen to my man Corgan as it pertains to like progressing.
Talking Heads. Idiosyncratic, large band, right? Cool vibe, people like them. Talking Heads made that transition out of the underground, made the cool records, then made the hit records, and now they're a classic band. Okay, Arcade Fire is not going to get there because they're not going to be allowed to make that transition. The precocious indie world is going to keep dragging on their ankles down, and the leap is too far for them to go across. Because what are they going to do? Start making Nickelback singles? You know, you want the sort of the standard that everybody, the grandma likes and whatever, and then you like the stuff that's a little bit more specific, right? Okay, but we're losing that spectrum across because the indie world has gone into business for itself, and they're happy to have, you know, people sell 15,000 records, okay? Well, that audience, when that audience turns on them, and they will, because they always do, okay, those artists are going to go back to working at coffee shops. They won't have made anything, they won't have any catalog, they won't have any songs on the radio, and they will be forgotten. They will go into the digital morass. Okay, that's a shame. And I don't think anybody here who likes those types of bands wants that to happen. And they say, well, I like them and I'll listen to them. Look at the trends. It doesn't work like that. It's the perpetuity of where you are, right?
You see what I'm saying to you? This is a new one. This is a remix of a classic. You hear that difference, right? Dum, 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 dum. That's that groove that makes you just wanna like, dude. There's still small room. We're gonna move over. We have other stuff too, like.
So now, you know, I'm still doing it. I work mostly in Europe. I don't do much in America because the American scene is not what it was. It's too much racism and segregation. But soulful house music, when you hear something like that in New York City, usually it's a black crowd and they're over 40. But in Europe, it's different. You know, of course, I work in Italy a lot, and I work in Greece, and I work in Switzerland. And it's different because you don't have this kind of black and white issue. So I get more respect in Europe than I get in my own country.
All right, let's move on. Now we're still in the small room, right? And we're just chilling because I'll speed it up a little bit. I'll give you a little bit more. This is a little bit newer stuff. It's my man from France, Saison. See, this is the groovy stuff. This is the sound. So as you hear me play, you're gonna be like, I'm starting to understand like his sound. Like I'm starting to hear that groove. It's not that boom, 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 boom stuff. You know what I'm saying to you? Like that knock, that kick with the high, kick high with no groove. You know, that extra, that rolling. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom.
Last year, what happened? It's we all thought during last winter that Underground Night was able to compete regarding numbers and incomes and VIP tables and everything, and to full big venues. And having 3 Underground Nights in Ushuaia like last year was not the right choice at all, businessly speaking. No, it's not speaking about music. We're speaking about business there. And you can't afford to pay so big fees requested for one big headliner underground if you can't fill the venue, and it was not possible to all this this business model in our space. We have a big venue, and we need to do numbers. And if I'm bringing a few people, if I can't have a great price because the artist is a big cost for me, if I can't charge at the door because underground people are not paying like commercial ones, I'm not getting back in my numbers. So I can't have any balance. This year we're coming back to a much more commercial line, which is I think more adapted to our venue with big shows and big productions, and I'm securing the business, no? And I know that with Get Hardwell, Avicii or Departures, I'm gonna do my numbers, and I'm gonna sell the tickets that I have to sell to fill my place.
This right here, Alfredo Zero, Italy. Telling you, bro, like we go all over the place, but these guys, this stuff doesn't get as much love. But that's why it's called underground. You know what I'm saying to you? But before, we used to have a lot of this stuff on mixed CDs, Head Candy, Defected, all those Ministry of Sound. All of this stuff used to be on there. But now it's more like when the mix. What happened? Let me explain to you what happened. All right? Let me explain to you what happened. Clip 3, go.
I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, we used to live in a broadcast world where there were these giant behemoths that could beam one thing at 10 million people. So we all like the Rolling Stones and the Who and the Beatles because like we had no other choice.
So I disagree.
Okay.
I disagree. If Cheap Trick was a new band now, they'd be huge. If the Beatles were a new band right now, they'd be huge. I'm sorry, the great bands are still going to get over, but they didn't have a world dragging on their ankles to keep them in indie world. And there's a whole subculture now, that the blogging and all that's predicated on keeping those bands exactly where they are, because they're in that business. They're in the business of saying, no, you football player, don't come over here, we're in the cool club. Okay, I grew up with that same, the cool club, don't come in, you're not cool enough. It's the same crap all over again.
You see what I'm saying to you? So you have these underground cats that be like, yo, just stay, you guys stay underground. Like a lot of my friend DJs, yo, just go play here. We're gonna play 5, 6, 7 DJs, represent. At what point do you wanna like take what you have and make it big? But keep it underground, keep it pure, you know what I'm saying?
And the sparks never fade away. I want it all again. And the sparks never fade away. I want it all again, all again. And the sparks never fade away. I want it all again. And the sparks never fade away. I want it all again. And the sparks never fade away. I want it all again. And the sparks never fade away. I want it all again. I want it all again.
All right.
Artists need to understand they need to map out their audience. And too many artists are down to, I'll go on tour with 7 artists and we'll sell out 5,000 people. It's like, yeah, that all looks great and good and dandy and everything, but how many tickets are you good for? How many tickets are you good for?
Right.
Y'all never know because you're always a 4-piece thing. Like, I always made it a point to myself. Like I said earlier, like I'm trying to prove myself right. I want to do Staples by myself so that I know if I do 2,000 tickets, then that's what I'm good for.
Right.
But if I do sell out Staples, when I sell out
let me tell you something.
Put it like this, if and when I sell out Staples and it's me, Snoop, Ty, whoever it is, it wasn't because of them.
Classic stuff. Funk, man, just chilling. Remember this classic? I got another classic right here. Another classic.
He went to dance with someone else. We started dancing and love put us into a group.
Another classic. This is by my man Booty Collins, ATFC remix. So speaking of that plug-in stuff, right? I'm gonna tell you something. Like again, we're gonna talk about like the whole me like feeling like sort of, you know. And I don't like when people say, oh, well, don't feel bad, you know, whatever. No, that's what you're supposed to feel. Like, you're supposed to feel bad. Like, you're supposed to do self-analysis and be like, yo, where am I? Right? Because that's why you have prizes. That's why you have positions. That's why this is what America and the world is built on, right? So you figure where you are in life. What's your place in life, right? And you have to be satisfied with your abilities. But if you know that you're capable of doing other stuff and you want to be recognized for that, then so be it. But yeah, sometimes you have to go through that self-analysis and be like, yo, like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And so the other day I was like, dude, like, I was looking into Facebook, and I don't go through Facebook because that's one of the problems a lot of DJs have. They go through and they're like, oh man, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Like, look at, so I don't, because I know that if I go into that, I'll be addicted to that stuff. So I don't go. But I just fell upon one of the DJs where I used to live in DC. He's doing his thing now. But he was plugged in because, you know, he was part of like a group, like a promotion group. So he always had gigs. So it was easy for him, right? But again, I'm not hating on that. But I was like, yeah, he's going overseas, he's doing this, you know, maybe for work, whatever, but he's also playing here and there, playing in New York or whatever. And of course, yeah, you like that, you know, the guy's moving up, like, where are you comparing? It's gonna happen. Like, don't say it doesn't happen, because everyone does it. We all do it, right? Hold up a minute. My man, Bootsy Collins.
The G-forces is always with us, baby. Vital juices are flowing. So check it out. And you won't have to pay a lot for this muffler, baby. Hang on to my guitar, baby.
So, I was like, man, like, you know, I'm watching him and I'm feeling like, not bad, but I'm like, because I'm trying to like figure out what's going on, because you need that perspective, right? So I'm like, and I go through his stuff and I realize, I listen to his mixes and I'm like, dude, he's playing that stuff. Like when he goes to New York, he plays that stuff that the Brooklyn people want to hear. That, you know what I'm saying? He plays that, I wouldn't say commercial, but what's popping in like the hipster brand, like that hipster brand of house. Like I need to, let me just give you an example of what that sounds like. hipster brand I'm talking about right there.
But anyway, from the 90s. Yeah, no, but may I say that the Afrobeat itself, scene is doing huge numbers. You have reggaeton that is doing huge numbers. You have trap, which is hip hop, that is doing huge numbers. All of these are birth child of dancehall and reggae, and yet dancehall and reggae have the lowest numbers out of everything. Yes, and we're all moving from that into a sound which is a trap dancehall sound, right? But to me, it is just from, you look at, and I'm not even, for me, it's just numbers wise. You don't see these numbers moving to where the music is now competitive, right, with the rest of the genres. At this point, when you look at Ed Sheeran or Justin Bieber or Rihanna or any one of these people, what they're doing is the type of dancehall, they're doing a hybrid version of what is 90s dancehall.
But along those lines, when I say plugged in, even with that DJ, how I was like, you know, he's doing his thing. He's always like, oh, house, whatever. He's like, oh yeah, I got signed with this label. Okay. But when you look at his friends and the people who he likes, no, like, the only people that we have in common is that one person. I'm not gonna put his name out there. But if you look at the people who I am in friends with, like I'll pick any random person right now, any random artist, and we have 50 people, mutual friends, and these are all the major house guys. House. I'm not talking about tech or techno. House guys. And when you click on something else, click on him, how many people do we have in common as well? So I'm plugged in. But when I went to DC, the most of the people that we have in common are people who mutual in common are people who are in DC. All these guys. So it's like all these local DJs talking about house, whatever. But dude, like, you're not even plugged into the system. You're not even friends with all the people who you claim that you love. You see what I'm saying to you? Like, that's my receipt. I can show you this. I got mutual friends. That's my receipt. You can't say Johnny's not plugged in, that I talk all this. No, because I'm with the people. I can reach out to them. I talk to them all the time. I'm like, yo, dude, let's get together. Let's talk. You can't do that. I mean, you can if you wanted to, but you're not doing that. You see what I'm saying to you? So like I said, I can pull the trigger anytime I wanted to, but I'm not willing to sacrifice because I don't want to. Because at the end of the day, if I do it, what's going to happen to the culture though? You see what I'm saying to you? Like, I have arguments all the time with Javi Romero. And I tell him all the time. His man, Eric Murillo, I was listening to his interview. Eric Murillo's coming here to Tampa. I'm not going to go see him because he's on some other tip now. Because he's playing to that crowd now. Same thing with Martinez Brothers. They rebranded themselves in order to fit that sound. Let's go ahead and move on.
Because the reality is that the white kids in Belgium are going to relate to me more than maybe a Quavo off rip.
Yeah.
Because like when they see me, they see themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense now. So it makes it easier to be global, which it's probably why I can go to Portugal for my first time and do the arena and sell it out.
Humble brag.
But at the same time, but there's the hip hop media who still says, who's Russ? Because why? The same thing working for me globally is the same thing working against me hip hop wise, which makes sense because hip hop it's black culture. So if it's easier for me to reach the global masses, which are, you know, the white kids in Belgium and Germany, but harder for me to reach the real essence of hip hop, which is black culture, that makes sense, and I can't be mad at that.
And the hip hop media probably thinks all your success comes from being white.
Which that is a fair critique. I can't sit here and stomp my feet. That is a fair critique.
But why is it a fair critique? Because
it's a fair critique because if I was black, would I be selling out the same shows in Portugal, or would I be this? I'll tell you why. Because a big reason why my first huge fan base in the Middle East was huge because they thought I was Middle Eastern. It's kind of like obvious because it's like if I was black, I would be bigger in black spaces, but because I'm white, I'm bigger in white spaces. And that's why I can't sit here and be like, but why am I not bigger in black? Bro, because you're not black.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to some classic right here.
once again, gon' try to fight it. Gotta stop holding up the wall and get it started. Throw on some house music, it's time to party. You got to jack your body, cause the music makes you move. This party's gonna jump, cause not a thing can stop this groove. We're gonna rock.
So let me see you.
So let me see you jack.
Yo, we're gonna keep this going, bro. We're gonna keep this going, bro. We're gonna keep it going. This is all fun. This is all the big room stuff, right? We went from the small room, now we're like big room, peak hour, you know what I'm saying? But we haven't even hit the anthems yet, bro. We haven't even hit the big stuff. This is that Mark Knight stuff. Oh, and so on that video, Mark Knight was playing like this stuff like all night long for an hour. Like for me, I can't do that. Like you gotta go up and down, right? So what I'm saying to you is that, you know, it's that up and down, and he was going like this. And someone comment, I'll leave the link up below. And one commenter said, "Oh, it's too groovy for me." And I'm like, yo, dude, because that's because you're not part of the culture, dude. You're expecting that tech stuff. I got more for that. I got more for that. Let's go right here. Boom. I got more for that. I got classic right here. Classic. George Montilla. Matter of fact, he mastered 2 of my songs. Okay, I'm telling you, you gotta be plugged in. Cats don't know, bro.
Now take off your shirt. Take off your shirt. Take off your shirt. Take off your shirt. Take off your
Check it out.
Put your clothes on and don't forget your shoes. Start running down the street, y'all, and don't forget your shoes. Take your shirt off, your pants, your shirt off, your pants. Take your shirt off, your pants. It's time to start to dance.
me do one more for New York. Brian Cox. My man, he does a lot of hard soul stuff. I'm plugged into him too. He lives in Hawaii. I was like, yo, I wanna do an interview with you. Look, I got receipts, bro. I got receipts. I have receipts. Nobody, you can't. I'm plugged into every system. You look, I'm there, and that's why cats don't want to mess with me, because they can pull the wool over other people's heads, but they don't realize is that I can go and I can turn around. You talk about Afro, you talk about Latin, you talk about progressive, you talk about tech, you talk about hard soul, you talk about funk, you talk about disco, dude. Like, I'm there. You can't pull the wool over me. All right, now we're gonna go to disco, right? Now we're gonna go to dancing disco. This is more of like that disco where you just chilling. It's not pumping yet. It's just now when you're playing like a house set like this, right? You have the ease of going up and down. That's why you don't wanna go peak too high, because once you peak, there's nowhere else to go. You see what I'm saying to you? So that's why you want to, like, as you're playing between like 10 and 12, depending on the peak hour times of that particular venue, you don't want to go too high yet. You want to be able to just, because you want to be able to go high enough that you can come back to stuff like this. You don't want to go too high. This is more dancing stuff. Dancing this stuff. You're still dancing, you know what I'm saying? Give you another one. This is K-Mac. He's from not Croatia, not from the Croatia. He's not from He's not where Stan Kolev is from. Stan Kolev is from Bulgaria. He's not from there. He's between Croatia, Bulgaria, around that area. But in the Slovakian region, you know, Slovakian, around that region there. Underrated. Give you one more. But how do you think I know? Because I study these guys, bro. Like all these people who are like, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling the music, and then I do the research, and then I'm like, oh, and then I learn about you. Again, like not everyone can do this. That's why it's special. Like you have to know about these people. You gotta connect. Be like, how do you know? You know, that's why I was a cop, you know, because that's just my investigative skills. Like I'm interested, I wanna know. Alright, so now we're gonna go more into the pumping disco. This is more like a pumping. It could be classified as filter too. Filter disco. one more. Give you one more. Lauer and Canard. I'm sure if you know your house, you know these guys right here. They play a lot with Sonic and Belloc and Sonic. I'm telling you, you gotta know your house, people, bro. You gotta know your house. And these guys are not all my color. They're all from Europe, so it has nothing to do with race. Has nothing to do with that, bro. That's why people don't understand, bro. Like, they really don't understand. So now I'm gonna go more into like the twisted, filtered stuff. This is my man, Raul Rincon. He's from Germany, actually. Dude, like, again, you gotta know your people. He was one of, like, he was on Ministry of Sound, Defected, Head Candy. He was, like, probably one of, like, when it comes to, like, Clubhouse, one of the go-to mixers. But people don't listen to this stuff a lot. And they do, but it's not the same way. Like this. This guy, bro, Raul Rincon, such a musician, bro. Listen to it. I'm gonna give you one more Raul Rincon. And you're gonna be, oh yo, is this Reach? Is this that classic? You're thinking it's Reach. It's Reach. It's Reach. Cálmate, muchacho. Muchacha. Cálmate. Mi gente. Relax. I'm gonna give you one more. This is I believe it's Christian Alvarez.
Each moment we live.
Swamp, 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 swamp,
Remember this? That's a sample from Waters. From Water.
The measure of life.
New dancehall era, I don't think we took enough notes as to where it's coming from, why we're here now. Get what I'm saying? Most of our music inside of Jamaica never really passed Norman Manley International Airport, to be honest. You understand me? It's just music for our friends. In our era, most of what we do is just for the surface. It don't leave Jamaica at all. And I can say this because I'm back and forth.
Our era.
Yeah.
You're saying your
generation? My generation of dancehall, no. It don't leave here. I was based in New York, so of course my song was in New York. I tried to get it out there. But there's songs that are big in Jamaica that I never hear in a New York club ever. And I can name more than 10 songs. You understand me? That is big in Jamaica.
In a club.
In a club.
In the dance space.
Exactly. So,
You're not
and
even
there's,
playing it at that level?
yeah, and there's people that will probably fill them town in Jamaica that can't ram a club that hold 100 in New York with the biggest song in Jamaica right now.
So now that allowed you to move in to the big faster stuff, right? When you're going from that, now you can work your way up. This is some of the newer Robbie Rivera stuff. This stuff you can play, out. But again, remember, you see how I'm going up and down. I'm giving a little bit of something for everyone. Just chill right now. Yo, let's take a ride to Tampa.
Step right up and walk the line. Let your body move in time. Let the pieces fall down where they may. You live to face another day. Resist the urge to try to prove yourself against the odds. When it's all said and done, you earn the right to have your way. You're just like us, and we don't care what people say. We don't care what people say.
All right. So this is more like my big room, like a faster stuff, right? It's not filthy disco. It's just more like a funky. It's not really tech. This is the stuff like when you stop playing with them, like that's when now. Now, unfortunately, with this, when you come here, it's to the point of no return. You can't go from like this stuff down to like the lower stuff, to like the happy stuff. Like here is like you're going up, bro. You're on it. Alright, we're gonna give you a bit of Mark Knight stuff. Now remember, this is not all, they don't all go together. I'm just playing the random songs, so don't think that these songs go together and they mix is how I would play them automatically.
It's been way too long, I've been building walls around me.
Now you can go from, now I'm going to show you, I'm going to play, this is from my Ibiza closing, I think it was, or Miami 2015. I'll leave the link here. This is from my mix. So I'm going to show you how to now, this is like that big room funk, and I'm also show you, this is pre-made mix that I did already, but I just cut it in half so that you can see. Just only a couple songs, right? And then you'll see how I do with the actual quick mixing. Because remember I told you, right? When you do this kind of like these fast songs, you want to be able to like have like 2-3 sets where you just quick mixing and going in and out, going in and out.
WBMX, Oak Park, Chicago.
So now I already have another song coming in.
Chicago.
You should hear it right now.
Chicago. WBMX, Oak Park, Chicago.
You heard that music? It's coming in. It's already in. Like I said, with this stuff, it's kind of hard to go down to the stuff, but you can bring the tempo down. I'll do it with the next in 2 songs. Now I'm switching songs here. Okay. Now we can, we can move it up some more. This is not progressive. This is big room funk. Progressive has more of like anthem-y stuff, more of like layers and synths. This is not really that. This is more like it's like techie, but it's more funk though. Big room stuff. It's like in between. It's non-progressive. It's non-progressive. It's non-techie. It's just big stuff. But this would be like an anthem though, because you don't want to keep the whole night playing this. So you play something like this, and then you can drop it down the tempo, but still keep it big. Watch, we're going to do that next. This is where you set everything up. This is now you're at night, you're just chilling. This is where you reset everything.
You'll always be my baby.
So then from there, you can now drop it to this. Now with this right here, Everybody knows because now you make contact with that dancer, right? Because again, so now it's like you're eyeing them out. They're making a circle. They're like, all right, yo, it's about time, because they know who, especially when you're at clubs that you're familiar with, that you go all the time. People know the deal. It's like, all right, yo, it's about that time of the night, especially in New York City.
Everywhere there's people, hands to the sound. It's such a good feeling, you can't put down. I got a notion, we all should be with one another, where soul can be free. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene. It's a so heaven. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene. It's a so heaven. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene. It's a so heaven. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene. It's a so heaven. 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 So heaven.
All right, so then from here, you can go to your classic big room stuff. Again, it's like, it's non-progressive, it's just big room, like classic dub stuff, you know?
And I don't know what to do, I'm losing my mind. And it's all because of you. Moving to the beat, I'm losing my mind.
All right. Another one from Seven Fisher.
Big beat, deliver me. Big beat, deliver me. Every chance I get. From the rain. Big beat, deliver me.
Then we got my man, we got Chocolate Puma, the group. A lot of people who don't know who the AKA of, this is Chocolate Puma. This is like in 2007-8, right? They're from the Netherlands, but people don't know who Chocolate Puma used to be. I'll give you a hint. New Jersey. Give it up! Give it up! Give it up! Yeah! The Good Men. This is Chocolate Puma. I got the record. You see, you gotta be able to follow through. If you into that Jersey stuff, right? This is Chocolate Puma, aka the Good Man, from Give It Up. Like, you gotta know your history, boy. Like, you gotta know your history. I'll give you another classic.
No, it's impossible.
Well, some people just don't know. You understand? This is what I mean. They don't know the culture. It's like if a young boy wants to be a football player, famous football player, he knows the history. He knows Pele. He knows Maradona. He knows Beckham. He knows Ronaldo. He knows. I mean, you know everybody that's anybody, even as a kid. You want that shirt. You know what I mean? when it comes to music for what we do, it's not like this.
Funk. Bro, killing them. I got one more big one.
While running away from love, you can become someone new.
That's that hard soul.
While running away from love,
you know who mastered hard soul? Cats like Hard Soul, Rogue from the Netherlands, Amsterdam, Groovenatics, right? Who else? Court. They mastered hard soul. All right, so now we're gonna end it off with some after hours now. Right? Now, this is where you can actually come down. Now, the after hours funk, it's more of like a funk tech, you know? That's why I have like a, in my tech folder, like tech funk. It's more like a tech funky. Right? And it's not always like dark. It's not tech, it's funk. So you have to be having a good time too, because it's more for dancing. It's not just straight kick high that you find where you can just stand around and just do the two-step finger like. It's got some techie elements, but it's more like that funk. You can dance, you can groove. And it opens up. My man Cashin from Australia. Forget where to be exact. DJ Wadi, Colombia, Miami. I used to hang out with the one before. I used to hang out with DJ Wadi. And because I was introduced to DJ Wadi by DJ Ramirez from Miami as well. And he owns, I forget what record label DJ Wadi owns. I'm telling you, bro. Let's go. Let's go a little ATFC with Harry Umero. You see what I'm saying? Got one more. Woo! how that boom, 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 boom. That's that groove. Because a lot of the tech stuff now is like techno, very boom, boom, boom. It doesn't have that extra doom, 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 doom. That makes you want to be able to like, you know, it doesn't have that. So for me, who's culturally ethnic, growing up listening to a lot of like Afro beats, you know, Latino beats from the Caribbean, soul, I need that. Doom, 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 you know? Listen, it's got that sax, bro. Sax and piano and bass. That's funk. You know what I'm saying to you? We got two more. So you see how like I went from like small room to now I'm even after hours. I'm not staying like this the whole entire night. Like I'm giving you everything. And the thing is right now is like this right here would have been across like between 10 until 3 a.m. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. That's 5 hours of all this. But if you're only paying 2 or 3 hours, you got to be able to do that quickly and go in and out. You may not be able to get to after hours, but you need to be able to go up and down and not play a whole entire disco funk of high power set like Mark Knight does. But he does it because he doesn't have to worry about it because everyone's going to be sitting there standing watching him. All right, I'm going to play this closing one right here. You heard this. So this is a sample. That vocal, you can tell because I played it before with another song. So which means that they're using samples, bro. Now you can tell. Because it sounds like the song before, but it's totally different. Totally different. Look at that sax. So we're done. Johnny Fontana, Half Amazing TV. So yeah, so that was my funk, bro. But you see, like, again, like for me, it's all about groove, bro. And that's why it's hard because again, like, I'll talk about it later, but it's like dialect, right? When you go to different parts of, let's say, Africa. Yeah, some of them may speak the same language, but they have different dialects, right? When you go to, you know, places like Haiti, right? Even with Haiti, like up in the mountains, they have a different dialect that sometimes you cannot even understand what they're saying. And they have a totally different culture, even though they're from the same country, right? They just do different things. People who live in the mountains, you know, are just from a different background culture. They do things traditionally different than the ones who live in a city. So, and it's the same thing with me. Like, I just don't, I don't get that whole hipster stuff. Like, I can't play this stuff. Like, this, they would be able to get this tech stuff. But when I want to go into my other stuff, it's like, no, it's like they just don't understand it. And if they may dance to it, but they don't get it. But you know what I'm going to get? What I showed you before, I'll show you like another one. That's not what I'm all about. And that's like fratty, yuppie kids play, bro. That's not serious. Like, I don't want to be part of that. You see what I'm saying to you? Like, that's not me. Like, I want to be part of something like this. Something like this. But I want them to mix. So, you see what I'm saying to you? Like, it's just broken. It's like it's different. And I'm not saying that you can't have it, but what offends me is that when you talk about house and techno, when you have a scene or whatever, like a party, house and techno, that's not really house. That's more techno. House is when the stuff that I played and you go up and down. Like, that's house and techno. House and tech. But they can't, because they can't go all out and play the stuff that I can and really groove. And not only that, when I'm playing, I want a reaction based on that. I don't want you to just be looking at me. I want you to be dancing. I want a circle from time to time. I want people to know, like, you know, like you heard when I talked to you about like throwing bottles. Like, you can't just play anything. You can't just play anything, because you have to play a certain way. Like, people don't want to talk about that, bro. You know, you heard him. So anyway, I really hope you stayed to the very end. If you did stay to the very end and you're right here, then I know you're true. Like, I know you're on my level. I know not too many people can, not too many. And I know I don't get a lot of views nowadays, for whatever reason, because YouTube is doing its thing. I'm working on my website. But yeah, so this is what I got. So I hope you enjoyed it. Johnny Fontana, Half Amazing TV. We out.